I want to share with you what I teach and call the chiropractic carousel blueprint. This will help you create carousels that stop the scroll, have patients engaging with your content, asking questions, and ultimately getting on the phone. Instagram boss Adam Mosseri had to say about them. He said, carousels tend to outperform other types of posts due to their multiple visibility opportunities. He says we might show the first post in the carousel to someone, and if they don't swipe to the second post or the third, we might show it to them again, already swiped onto that second or third post. Now, Instagram carousel mastery for us as chiropractors, these will help you reach more lives. The more lives that we get to reach, the more lives that we get to change. This is about having more people know you, like you, and trust you. You need to learn this. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Marketing Your Practice podcast, the podcast where I have the pleasure of simplifying the marketing and the mindset so you, the chiropractor, can increase your income, your impact, and your enjoyment in practice too. Now, let me start with a question. Have you ever felt like your social media posts aren't reaching the people that you want? Maybe you're posting really great content, but it isn't just grabbing the attention, or it's not sparking action. No one's getting on the phone and calling you. Everybody's telling you that video is the key, so you've been making videos, but the results just aren't there. Or maybe you're somebody who doesn't like creating videos and doesn't want to be on camera, and you're wondering, what should I be doing? Well, today's episode might just be the game changer that you've been looking for. We're diving into one of Instagram's most effective tools, carousels. Now, these swipeable posts are perfect for telling stories, sharing step-by-step tutorials, or even showcasing patient transformations. If you're allowed to, if your registration board allows you to do these things. They're really great at stopping the scroll and driving engagement. Now, for chiropractors, Instagram carousels can be a goldmine. They let you break down really complex health ideas, highlight the life-changing results that we see each and every day with our care, and connect you with your community on a much deeper level, all while building trust and positioning you and your practice as the go-to place. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through why carousels work, what makes them so powerful, and how you can use them to turn casual followers into really engaged followers, people who ultimately get on the phone and start to call you. They're a really great way to boost your online presence and grow your practice. So let's jump in. Let's dive a little deeper. What exactly is an Instagram carousel for those of you that might be newbies into this? An Instagram carousel is a post or a format that allows you to share up to 10 photos or videos. Now, this is important. It can be videos in there as well, not just photos, and we can mix them, okay? Viewers can swipe left or right if they wanted to go back and forwards in this so they can see these images in a sequence. This format is really powerful for storytelling. It's great for sharing step-by-step tutorials, showing before and after, as I mentioned before, if you're allowed to do that. Once we start to take an engagement in this direction, people tend to spend more time on Instagram carousels than they do on any other type of posts. Now, why is it essential that these be a part of your social strategy? Well, Instagram carousels have a higher engagement rate than any other type of post. Now, engagement means interaction rate. And the social media platforms love it when people are engaging with their posts. And when the platforms see people engaging with your posts, they're much more likely to share it elsewhere, okay? So carousels have an average engagement of 1.92% compared to 1.74% for images and 1.45% for videos. Now, when the platforms see engagement happen, the next thing that's going to happen is reach. Carousels have 1.4 times more reach than regular posts. So this means more people are seeing your posts and more people are engaging with your posts. And this is the foundation for you building relationships, having more people know you, like you, and trust you. So if you're not using Instagram carousels, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools, certainly on Instagram, to help you push your reach, your engagement, and grow your practice. Now, here's what Instagram boss Adam Mosseri had to say about them. He said, carousels tend to outperform other types of posts due to their multiple visibility opportunities. He says we might show the first post in the carousel to someone, and if they don't swipe to the second post or the third, we might show it to them again, already swiped onto that second or third post. Now, I see this personally many times in my feed. I'll see a carousel come up there too. I might not engage with it, read through it, for whatever reason. I'm distracted, I'm busy at that stage, and that will be reserved to me later on. But rather than it being on the front image there, they'll actually begin the journey for me, okay? So they're showing it multiple times, and this rarely happens inside of Instagram and or Facebook, okay? Now, just a word about carousels and Facebook. Now, you can use a similar thing on Facebook, but it's important to understand that the swipeability and the way they work is really perfect for, it's natively built for the Instagram platform. Now, if you're like me and primarily on Instagram and then you tend to kind of duplicate your stuff over, then I pop my carousels on Facebook. But if you're a Facebook only user, then this might not be the best strategy for you, okay? Again, I'm on Instagram mostly and I cross post over that. And so my carousels do end up over on Facebook. But if I'm talking to a client that's mostly all they're doing is really Facebook, then we talk about other strategies instead. Now, how do we put together an Instagram carousel, and what are the ingredients of an Instagram carousel that's going to help us get results? That is, get the phone ringing and have us building relationships, okay? I want to share with you what I teach and call the Chiropractic Carousel Blueprint. This will help you create carousels that stop the scroll, have patients engaging with your content, asking questions, and ultimately getting on the phone. Now, the first thing we need to think about is slide number 1, and this is creating a really powerful and attention-grabbing hook. Now, there are several ingredients in an attention-grabbing hook. Number 1 is we need to be really specific. We want to state what the carousel is about, and we want to avoid vague language, okay? If possible, we want to create a sense of urgency. So we can use words that prompt immediate action or attention, like stop or mistakes or avoid. Now, if we can, we want to appeal to emotions. We can tap into common pain points or fears that create a strong emotion. Now, an example might be just something like this. 3 things every migraine sufferer needs to know. Now, we've talked about in here, we've called the person out, the migraine sufferer, okay? We've used a list. This is a really powerful way to engage people. And we've added that sense of urgency and appealing to emotions by saying migraine sufferer that you need to know, okay? Now, underneath this, I might even try and create some curiosity that says, number 2 is missed by most people, okay? So that's an example there of a scroll stopping hook. Now, you can just do a simple search on the internet. You could even go over to ChatGPT and it could help you create some attention grabbing and scroll stopping hooks there too. But no, the first thing that we've got to do is capture attention. So who are we talking to? Is it a migraine sufferer? Is it a parents with a colicky baby? Is it somebody that's looking to sleep better? Is it somebody that's suffering from asthma? Is it somebody with postural problems? Call them out. Talk more about the problem than about your solution. This is a mistake that chiropractors make, not only in their marketing, but in their communication. Let me explain it like this, and I've talked about this on the podcast beforehand. If I was selling a trip to Bali, okay, I want to be talking to about all the wonderful things that you'll do once you're over in Bali. Imagine the beautiful warm weather, the amazing food, lounging around a pool, heading out into this beautiful nature. I want to be talking about all of those things. I don't want to be talking about the fact that you're going to need to get on a plane and it's 8 hours here from Australia and a lot more than if you're traveling from other parts of the world there too. I don't want to talk about the difficulties going through customs. I don't want to talk about how busy it is in some places, how crazy the traffic is. When we spend all our time talking about chiropractic, we're talking about the travel, how you get there. We want to be talking about the destination, or we want to be talking about the problem, okay? This will help your hook to grab more attention. Now, once we've captured the attention in slide number 1, slide number 2, what we want to do is we want to share a third-party statistic about the problem. Now, when we include a third-party statistic in our carousel, it adds authority and credibility to your message. This is not just something that Angus is saying. He's backing this up with third-party data, okay? Now, we want to make sure that we cite a reputable source, okay? It reinforces that the evidence I'm about to share is backed by research, okay? This will build trust. Please don't miss this out, okay? A compelling statistic also highlights the severity and the prevalence of the issue, okay? It makes it more relatable, it makes it more urgent, and again, not only validates your point of view, but it backs you up as well. So if we were talking about the example that I had here before about the migraine sufferers as well, it could be just something like this. Did you know that according to the American Migraine Society there too, that over 1 billion people worldwide suffer with migraine headaches? So just something as simple as that, we're just adding a third-party element in there so people can see this is just not your opinion. Now, slide number 3, what we want to do here, again, a really important slide, is that we want to aggravate, we want to describe the problem. We want somebody to be reading this if they have migraine headaches there too. We want them to be reading it and saying, this is me. This is exactly what life is like for me. So when we aggravate or describe the problem, this helps to create a deep emotional connection with our audience. Okay, it emphasizes with the audience that you know what their problem is. Okay, so we want to enter the conversation that's going on in the mind. When we vividly describe the problem, but we create a clear picture of it, this also creates a level of relevance and urgency. Okay, so slide 3 is aggravate the problem there or describe the problem as well. So here's an example of how we could do it. Migraine sufferers often feel trapped and alone, battling intense pain, severity to light and sound, and constant nausea. Now, daily life can become a real struggle and simple tasks often feel impossible. But understanding a few key strategies can bring real relief and hope. So that's slide 3, okay? So let's go through where we've got so far, okay? Our cover slide there, number 1, 3 things every migraine sufferer needs to know there too. And then I've got that little subtext underneath it there that says number 2 is super simple. And then we've gone into did you know, all right? So the did you know, in fact, I'll get my text up here. According to the American Migraine Foundation, over 1 billion people around the world deal with migraines. It's a huge issue that impacts daily life, work, and overall well-being. Slide number 3, we were describing the problem or aggravating the problem. Migraine sufferers often feel trapped and alone, battling intense pain, severity to light and sound, and constant nausea. Daily life becomes a struggle and simple tasks often feel impossible. But understanding a few key strategies can bring relief and hope, okay? So we've gone through slides 1, 2, and 3, okay? Now when we get on from slides 4, and we can do this from slides 4 up to slide 9, okay? Our final slide needs to be a call to action. We're going to talk about that in a moment. The purpose and the goal that we need to do through here is to deliver value and maintain curiosity, okay? When we deliver value, that's going to have them continue to move through. It's going to position you as an authority, as an expert. It's going to also bring out a sense of reciprocity. When we do something really nice for somebody, if we ask them to do something afterwards, they're more likely to do it, which is share this, comment beneath there too, or give the office a call there. So each slide should provide actionable, relevant information that addresses the problem that you've highlighted in the hook. In essence, what we're doing at this stage is we should be delivering on the promise. Our promise here was 3 strategies that every migraine sufferer needs to know about. Okay, that's what we're doing at this stage through here as well. When we break the content down into bite-sized pieces, you make it really easy for our audience to digest and retain the information. And this approach not only reinforces your expertise, but it builds trust and it positions you as a valuable resource, okay? So again, simple but actionable steps that we want to share in here as well. So step number 1 that I've talked about here is know your triggers. For many, it's certain foods, stress, or even changes in the weather, but keeping a diary can help you pinpoint what sets off your migraines. And then identifying and avoiding these triggers can significantly reduce the frequency of your migraines. Okay, so that's tip number 1 that I've talked about. Number 2, I talk about hydration here as well. Okay, so I've said hydration is crucial. Dehydration is a common trigger, so make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Aim for at least 8 glasses a day and consider using a water tracking app to stay on top of your hydration. And then the third thing I want to talk to them about here is chiropractic care. Okay, I want to talk to them about what I do. Many of our patients have found relief from regular adjustments to help to reduce the frequency and the intensity of migraines. And research backs up the power and the impact that chiropractic can have. Okay, so we've talked about here, we're just adding in that, hey, listen, we see these results in our practice and it's backed by research. So we've shared 3 really simple and actionable tips in there. Now, the final thing that we want to do here, the final slide should be a call to action. Again, we don't have to use all 10 slides, all right? There's not a number of them, but as a general rule, we're probably going to get certainly to 8 slides by the time we have those 3 introductory, share 3 tips in there, and then we transition into a call to action. The call to action on the final slide is a critical component of your Instagram carousel as it guides your audience what to do next. Now, a clear and direct call to action ensures that your audience knows exactly what we want them to do. Now, it might be we want them to subscribe or comment or like, or we might want them to reach out to our service. So this slide leverages the engagement and the trust that we built beforehand. It encourages a meaningful and immediate interaction, okay? Now, an effective call to action also highlights the benefit of taking a suggested action, okay? It makes it more compelling. So an example call to action, or one that would work nicely with the carousel that we've been working through, would be just this. If migraines are impacting your life, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you find relief and get back to doing the things that you love. Contact us today to start your journey towards a migraine-free life. So that's an example there of a call to action. Now, one of the mistakes that chiropractors make with their calls to action is that they give too many different options. So they might say something like, if migraines are impacting your life, don't hesitate to reach out. If you've got any questions, please ask them down beneath there as well. And please like, comment, and share on this video. So there's 5 different things that I've told you to do. And we know from social scientists, the more that we tell people to do, the less likely to do any of them. You know, if we give them 5 different options, they do none of them. So we want to make sure that we keep our call to action to one. And the one that I like most is invite them into the practice. Let me share that one again. If migraines are impacting your life, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you find relief and get back to doing the things that you love. Contact us today to start your journey towards a migraine-free life. Okay, you can use that across pretty much all of the carousels that you have shared there. Okay, so they're the steps that we need to go through. Let me just quickly review those again. These are the steps for creating a carousel that's going to help get the phone ringing in your practice. And number 1 was a really strong hook, a hook that called out and captured their attention. Okay. Number 2, what we wanted to do is we wanted to share a third-party statistic about the problem as well. Again, do some quick Google reviews or research on that and you'll find a stat that matches that too. Number 3 was to aggravate and describe the problem. Slides number 4 to 9 were delivering value and maintaining curiosity. I really like lists inside of this. Okay. Each slide should provide actionable, relevant information that addresses the problem that you've highlighted in the hook. And then finally, the final slide there was a call to action. Let them know what to do next. And again, inside that call to action, it's only one thing, not multiple. Now, I want to share some final thoughts on graphic design and then what do we do with our carousels to make sure that we maximize the impact of them, okay? Now, the graphic design is less important than you think. Stick with your brand colors. Make sure there's a theme that kind of runs through these. Keep away from stock images. You can make them mostly text-based. That's what I've been doing with our carousels throughout the last 12 months. Canva has loads of templates that you can use. Just jump inside of there, do a search for carousel templates. You'll find them. What I did for the longest time before I had somebody working full-time with me from this is I'd write out the text from my carousels and I'd maybe prepare 5, sometimes as much as 10. I'd jump on over to Fiverr and I would look for a graphic designer there, and then I would get them to do 5 or 10 of them for me all at once. I was paying somewhere between $10 and $15 per carousel, so it was very cost effective. Wasn't worth my time to do them. And again, I could get my month's carousels done for under $100. All right, so it's places like Fiverr or Upwork, anywhere that you can find somebody to do this. But to be honest, the Canva templates are so good that all you need to do is really get the text ready, have your templates there, and then you can have a CA prepare these for you. Or if you've got somebody that can use a computer, anyone can do this. Now, what do we do with a carousel to make sure that we maximize the impact of it? Be consistent with them, okay? The goal should be for posting at least one of these a week. Now, we also want to make sure that we're boosting these. We don't have to, whilst the organic reach of carousels is beyond anything else at the moment, we don't want to just leave this up to organic reach. We want to boost the carousel. And again, somewhere between kind of $2 and $10 a day, boost it out to your local area there. For most of this is a 5 to 10 mile radius, okay? This is what we're looking at, okay? Somewhere between, 5 kilometers, and depending if you're a more country area, you might go up to 15 or 20 kilometers, but we basically want to keep it really close. Make sure that you respond to any comments. So if somebody's commenting on it, if there's questions they've got, if they're engaging with it, then making sure that you are actually responding to those really quickly. Instagram carousels are working really well now. We're seeing it with our clients. It's helping them get patients on a weekly basis, reach out, they're starting conversations, they're inviting these peeps into the practice. They're also a really great way for you to be able to content multiply. What I mean by this is if you've created a video, this carousel that I've created here would have worked really great as a video where, the video just starts off, hey, in today's video, I want to share with you 3 things that every migraine sufferer needs to know. Again, I could go through that same format. I could give them some third-party stats in there. Did you know that migraines affect, 1 billion people at this cost there as well? If you're having migraines, it might feel like this, this, and this. Here's the 3 things you should be doing. and then into the call to action. So it works really great as a video. And so both ways, if you're creating this sort of video content, you can repurpose that as a carousel. But if you've created the carousel, you've also got the outlines there or the structure for a really great video. And we want to make sure that we're actually content duplicating or repurposing our content, because there are those amongst us that really love to engage with carousels and some of us that really like to watch videos, and we want to be there in as many different possible ways as we can. Folks, that's Instagram carousel mastery for us as chiropractors. These will help you reach more lives. The more lives that we get to reach, the more lives that we get to change. This is about having more people know you, like you, and trust you. You need to learn this. As always, folks, thanks for all that you do. Keep saving lives. I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Have a great week. Bye. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come and check out my Community Influencer Program. It's my monthly coaching program where we take all this material and I'll work with you to help you apply it, implement it, and systemize it. The Community Influencer Group Coaching Program is designed to help you increase your practice income, impact, and enjoyment. Join me over at anguspyke.com/join. That's anguspyke.com/join. I'd love to see you there.